Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Elena. I'm the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos, and here on the channel we talk about everything from homeschooling, homemaking, all the things in between. This video is a open collaboration for the homeschool. I think it's just called Homeschool Show and Tell, and it is hosted by Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way. I will try to remember to, when the link comes up, to link that down below so you can see how other mamas, I believe this month that they're either showing you how they plan their school, or maybe it could be a day in the life type thing. But either way, lots of great information I'm sure will be had in the collab playlist. So I will try to get that linked in the description box for you. Let's dive in, get some planning done. This is a notebook that I got from Hobby Lobby. This is a Paper Studio. I waited for Paper Studio to go on sale, I believe, and then I purchased it. We started using it last year, didn't finish it, so we're just going to continue on with this year, and I thought I would show you. I never actually set it up. I did some pages to get it set up, and then I didn't end up doing it, and then we just kind of rolled into the year, and we've just been going. So I think, though, I thought I'd sit down with you and go over getting it set up. And then there's some other things that I want to put in, because we are we halfway through the school year? I don't know. This school year has been a lot of playing it by ear, as some years will be. Some years, well, I'm not gonna lie, most years you have to make changes throughout the year. I don't have any school year that went right as planned, but we're okay with it right now. We're doing okay, thanks be to God. So I am going to just keep on trucking with that, but I want to add in some pages of things that I want us to get going with in the upcoming 2024 part of our school year. So we typically will try to school 4 days a week and take Friday off and use it as either just a day, a more relaxed day, or if we need it, a makeup day for things that didn't get done throughout the week. Except for my teen, who is in the 11th grade, and so he actually has started doing extra work during the week so that he can take Friday off, and that's fine. At the beginning of the school year, he wasn't doing that. He was just doing a full 5-day workload, but lately he's been like, it's worth it to me to have a lighter Friday, so he'll plug in and do an extra subject during the week and so his Friday stays clear, and that way, like I said, if he's got anything he needs to make up, or maybe math was particularly took some extra time for him that week, he's got some wiggle room in his week. This is just a generic free printable that I got online. This was, sorry, my littles are hanging out in the back, and I'm trying to also peek at them and see what they're doing. But it says school name 2023-2024 school calendar, and this is another thing I've been meaning to put in there and I haven't done it, so I'm going to get that in. And it's just nice to have it at a view. I can mark down what days we ended up. We're not in our state required to keep attendance, but if you were required to keep attendance, that would be a good spot for it. Or if you wanted to just track out for your own mind what days you took off, or planned vacation days, things like that. So I had I think in my regular catch-all planner, I have it, but I also have some notes written on it, so I don't really want to share it. But I had marked down our vacation days, so I will transfer that over to here. And then here I liked to I'm gonna grab some markers out. Each one of my kiddos gets this kind of title page. I'm saving this space for a photo of them, and then here are the subjects we had planned. So for English Language Arts, he is working through The Good and the Beautiful. For math, he is finishing up geometry, and we're going to do a personal finance course together. By together, I just mean it's not, I'm going to work through it. It's going to be more hands-on for Mom to teach that. We have chosen to do science. He wanted to do another year of science. I don't think he actually needed it. So it may go into his elective, but we'll see. But he's working through marine biology. For history and geography, he is really enjoying the Life Pack series, so he is working on that. And then Spanish. So we have started Spanish, but we need to touch base on that and come back to it. So that's some of the things that I'm going to work through today and see how we're going to do with that. And then for my daughter, let me see. For my daughter, I'm looking for try this teal color. It's another one of her colors she's drawn to. For her subjects, English Language Arts, she is also doing the Good and the Beautiful, and she is enjoying that. My two bigger ones have really been enjoying the Good and the Beautiful, which is great because it is really, there's so much in their English Language Arts. There's art credit, and here I have geography. I'm just erasing the pencil lines beneath it because I wasn't very careful. I didn't get right over the lines. I just kind of used it as a guideline. But the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts also includes, I think, like half a credit for art as far as high school is concerned, and then maybe half a credit for geography for high school too. I don't know. I have to go back and double check that, or if you are interested, you can check their website. But so it also has art and geography for the younger years too. Now, we actually started the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts with my youngest last year, and he did not thrive with it. So he did not like it, but my daughter was curious about it, and she seems to be thoroughly enjoying it. So that's good. But we have to do something different for my youngest. My youngest is on the spectrum, and he just found that the Good and the Beautiful was ended up being a little too slow for him, I think. We may try, I went ahead and bought him an extra art book, so when his sister is doing the art projects, he does it also. But as far as like the actual workbook part of it, he doesn't enjoy that. So we do something different with him. So for my youngest, his subjects for English Language Arts, we are working through All About Reading, level 2. And he's reading through the Sunlight readers. So we use just the readers from the Sunlight program. And if there's something in there that I like and I want like a project or something, then we go ahead and do that too. We also are we are going through some of the Moffat girls on Teachers Pay Teachers. I really like that website. So if you've been here and heard, if you watch some of our homeschool videos, you'll know that I mention them a lot. So we're also doing some of that too. With my youngest, we have to kind of switch things up. Because he gets bored really quickly. So we go through a couple of different curriculums throughout the year, just going back and forth between them. So I'm just gonna go ahead for math here. That's why I have multiple things here. For math, we're doing Moffat, but I had teaching textbooks and I had a question mark there. So that's something also that I wanna go back to and take a look at. I wasn't sure if he was ready for that yet. So, and then for science, both littles, we're supposed to be doing the mammals for Teachers Pay Teachers, but I mean, the mammal unit from the Good and the Beautiful, but that has fallen by the wayside. So that's kind of what I wanted to do today. Was I wanted to come in and get this set up. It's been in here in pencil for a while, but I hadn't finished it, and I wanted to do that. And then I wanted to touch upon the things that I meant to implement this year but haven't done yet. And since we're only like halfway through the year-ish, we can always go into summer if we need to. I wanted to touch base on what I wanted to get done and what wasn't getting done, and see if that's still something that's in our life. So this is how we get it set up for the year. We just have title page and then a school calendar. Like I said, I'll end up putting a picture here so it'll work for my kiddos. And then we do an interview. I usually ask them their goals for the year, and then kind of recap at the end of the year. So those could go on these pages too. Really though, I've just been using this as, it's got a lot of other information on there, so I can't really share that with you, but it really isn't pretty. It's just kind of sloppy of how our stuff was going. I would just like list and then things like that. What I love about the bullet journal for homeschooling is that every week I can change up the layout to what we need it to be. So we've been using it, like I said, just a lot of lists. I would just write down things. Sometimes a habit tracker will work better for me that week. But I can switch it up just depending on where we're at in life and where my kiddos are at as well. And then when I've had a dated planner, sometimes it can get hard. There's a lot of crossing out and putting things in. I really, the last couple of years have liked the bullet journal option instead, because while I do like planning out for the year, I normally am that person that wants to see the whole year kind of laid out and know that it's gonna ebb and flow. For the past couple of years, I just have not, that has not been where my mindset is. And so I'm just kind of taking it as it comes. Okay, so there were a couple of things that, like I said, I had hoped to get started or to do this school year, and they've kind of fallen to the back burner. So I think what I will do is just go ahead and list the things, those types of things that I wanted to do. So one of the things was the personal finance course, and that's going to be for my oldest. What else? There was art. I bought this set on Teachers Pay Teachers, and there was a couple of artists that have like a small unit study type thing. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it an art unit study. And I'm just going to put a TPT here to remind me that the things that I need are on the Teachers Pay Teachers website. Let's see. We're just going to leave that there because I feel like that's plenty to add on to the year, because not everything is going to get done every day. It's just too much. And I think what we'll call this list is, so to include in 2024, I want to get the personal finance unit started with my oldest. There's the art unit study that I want to get going with especially my daughter. I don't know if my youngest will want to participate, but it can be optional for him. The science, we need to get back on track with that with both littles. I also bought the Constitution from The Good and the Beautiful, and we started and stopped. It was another thing that just stopped off and we never got back to it. The Good and the Beautiful has I think they call it maturation. It's a health unit type thing, but at least that's what we called it when we went to school. Was all that stuff went under health class. But I think we are about ready to start that. Not with all of the kids, but we're about ready to start that. And then my littles have a Spanish program as well, and they requested getting back to that, and so we can do that. And then on Fridays were supposed to be, like I said, an easier day, or like a more fun day. It was supposed to be, or a catch-up day, something like that. But we haven't been doing it, and I have some really fun, well, I think they're fun, who knows, right? I have some games, educational games and things and movie studies that we have been wanting to do and sprinkle in. So I think I just want to be more aware of getting those planned in and letting my kids know, hey, this Friday, I'd really like for us to start our day with a couple of games, and then in the afternoon we can wrap up with one of these like movie studies, and then that way they know throughout this week, this is kind of what we're working for the week. Also, I think because someday we may get snow here, It's been kind of it's cold out there, but we still don't have a ton of snow. And so I'm guessing that we're probably going to have like a later winter and it's going to stretch out a little bit longer. So those days when we don't want to be driving around and stuff, these are things definitely we can be doing instead of a field trip. So I just want to make sure we include that here. And then I was doing Monday meetings with just my son, my oldest. But now my daughter is we're doing a check-in with her as well. Because she's just starting out, I try to touch base more than just once a week with her. I will do a Monday meeting to set up the week with her, and then we lightly check in every morning on her stuff. But for my oldest, he's kind of at the point where we do a Monday meeting. I'll tell you how that goes a little bit more in depth here. Sometimes if needed, we do a Wednesday check-in, and then Friday we do a Friday recap. And so I'm going to list out here the things that we want to touch base on in those meetings so you can kind of see what all our intentions are with these things and how that kind of rolls. So for the Monday meeting, our Monday meeting, we'll mark down any appointments or time commitments we have. So if we have a dentist appointment or something, or a time commitment is mom has Bible study at this time every week, then we mark that in so we know that this is on our schedule and we can't really move it around. This is what time it's supposed to be at. And then we kind of take a look at our subjects and see what needs to be done that week. So what got done last week? Where did we leave off in math? Did we leave off on lesson 33? Great. So this week, Monday, we should be doing starting our lesson 34. For us, we use Matthew C for the two oldest kids. So it'll be like the lesson number and then A through G, I think, or something like that. And so we'll mark down together. Monday, we're doing this lesson, 34A, Tuesday, 34B, or whatever, what have you, however you do that. So we'll mark that in. So we'll put down, look at subjects and plan accordingly. And that's what that will mean. Which lessons on which days. And here we'll put in a little asterisk, and then I'm going to mark down responsibility chart. If I can spell responsibility. With the responsibility chart, we'll probably talk about our chores and the way we help the home. So these are things that they need to get done on the daily or the weekly. I really need this week for the kitchen to be mopped, and that is something that my oldest can do. So what day of this week is lighter, and do you think that you can get that done? And is that going to work for mom? Or if he's like, you know what, I really I'm swamped, I'm behind in my schoolwork, blah, blah, blah. Mom needs to meet. I need to decide with him if, yes, you are. There's a lot on your plate this week. You know what? Mopping the floor is just going to take too much time. So something that mom needs to get done, but you need to be putting away dishes or helping me wash the dishes, getting the trash out, those regular things. So that will be plotted down into his planner as well so that he hopefully can keep that on the forefront of his mind. And I'm going to draw an arrow because this responsibility chart is going to work there as well. That's our Monday meeting. That's kind of how the template of it. And then if there's anything else he needs to bring up, we'll bring it up. But that's how those usually go. For our Wednesday check-in, this is really simple, really light. It's just to see the Wednesday check-in is really just to see if we are staying on task, if we're where we need to be, if we've forgotten anything, or if anything has already happened throughout the week or come up for later in the week and needs to be changed or rescheduled. Then that's the day we can kind of look at it together and see if we need help. If something comes up and he's like, I just don't know how to reschedule this, or I don't know how I'm going to get it all done. And that's when mom can kind of step in and be like, well, what if we move this here or we move that there? Or even for me, sometimes I'll come to him and I'll say, hey, bud, I forgot we did this, or dad asked us to do this and this wasn't on the schedule, or this really cool opportunity came up. How can we squeeze in and move stuff around? And that's our time to talk it over and kind of move things around if need be. Now for my daughter, because she is younger, and she kind of just goes more with the flow of what, you know, she's got to go where mom's got to go and things like that. Her Wednesday check-in, like I said, is happening pretty much daily. I'm just coming to her in the morning saying, hey, did you get the work that you needed to get done yesterday, your independent work, and here's what we have to do today as group work. And so that's how her Wednesday check-ins are really happening Tuesday through Thursday. They're happening, I mean, we're touching base Monday and Friday too, but those look slightly different. So on Friday, what we talk about is what worked this week? What were our wins for the week? What good job? Where's our, let's get our brains to recognize that we had some wins and we did get some stuff done versus always being like, this is what didn't, this is, I want them to have that, and I want them to start training their mind to see that. Here's what did work. Here's what worked out well, and here are my wins for the week. And then of course on the other side, what needs more work? What needs more work or adjusting? What didn't work out well for me this week? Well, you know what? I started this week with science, and it made it harder for me to concentrate on my other subjects for whatever reason. Or, you know what, I started with my easier subjects thinking I just fly through them and get to my hard subjects, but by the afternoon I didn't have the bandwidth to really want to sit still and do my harder subjects. So I think next week I'm going to start with my tougher subjects and then do my easier subjects, or the subjects I enjoy more, in the afternoon. And so that kind of thing, that's what we're looking at. What worked, what didn't work, and how can we adjust and go on from there. And that's kind of it. This is also time for them to sit with mom and just check in on other things in life. There's, I mean, I'm always around most of the time with them. I'm usually not away from my kiddos, but this is also, especially for my oldest, one-on-one time for me to sit when we're doing these check-ins and things like that. And so if there's anything that he wants to bring up or wants to chat about and hasn't had a chance to find a minute in the week for that, that's when that can happen. So that's how that goes down. And then the way that like I said, I use the rest of it is some weeks I will set up I don't think I have any that's done that I can show you that doesn't need to be like covered up. Let me know if you want to see the setups that we do weekly, when we do a setup weekly. Some weeks I will go ahead and do like a full layout, and I'll put some things in. Like I said, maybe I need a habit tracker for that week, and that's how I do our schedules. So especially for my youngest, I will just put down a habit tracker and then put his subjects and then mark off if we've got them done that day. Whereas other weeks, I really need to see the full layout and be like, Monday, here's what has to get done. Tuesday, here's what has to be done. And so the layout may look a little different. So let me know if you'd like to see if that particular week, some of the layouts we get done, if you want that to come into the rotation of the videos here. But this is how we're going into 2024 with our plans for school. This was more so, should have been done at the beginning of the year, but we didn't do it, but that's okay. We got it done now. And then I marked down what I want to get to in 2024, and then just kind of how our weekly meetings go, and then we'll go in weekly and get these done. But thanks so much for hanging out with me and getting this done. I really appreciate you taking your time out and spending it here with me. And as always, if you don't know, or you just need to be reminded, may be the one to tell you that you are deeply and truly loved and so appreciated. I really appreciate you taking your time out and spending it here with me.